So, I mean, regardless of any sort of charts, well, I don't want to say that, but today's a big day for old Tesla, guys. It has been getting murdered for, the whole year pretty much. We're up here around 266, 267 back in here late 2023, and we've seen nothing but selling pressure here. Hit a low of 138.80 yesterday. We're right around 143.50. And on a really big time frame here, it's not a perfect uptrend, but you can see that we're kind of right at this last little bit of support here. If we end up breaking under 135, 130, I mean, that $100 level is probably going to be the last area for this until, like $60 a share. I don't know that we're going to get that far. I can't see investors not swooping in here at one point. But as we all know, Nestle earnings is today after the close. So, there was an Amazon earnings, maybe a year or two ago when Amazon kind of looked like this, and they really surprised, and Amazon jumped up huge. So, I'm not going to say that's some sort of recurring pattern, but all it takes is a little bit of good news on Tesla, and with how much selling pressure we've seen, this could just, kind of rip out of nowhere, right? So we do need to keep that in mind. However, if things are bad, which I mean, pretty much, guys, all I've seen is bad news the last couple months, with delivery numbers and laying off employees and whatnot. So I'm not. I don't really want to make some sort of prediction. I would love to see this bounce. I do think that anywhere from 140 to 130 are good is a good area to like long term buy this. Whether it's swinging 6 month out or leap calls, leap meaning over a year, or buying stock. Yes, could it go lower? Of course. And I don't know where the exact bottom is, but looking at a risk reward standpoint here, I mean, this has taken a beating for 6 months. Could it come down close to 100 again? Yeah, it could. But look what it did after 100. We hit around $100 a share, and we hit 300 within 4 months ish. So things can change quickly. Just back one more thing on Tesla. This is a pretty big wedge that we're kind of seeing. So maybe this bounces up and takes another 6 more months to kind of coil up. And then, Tesla, you can tell by my old drawings up here that, Tesla used to be over $1,000. So, I don't want to count this out, but man, this is, it's been weak. So I don't know. Just keep that in mind. I'm not going to be looking to trade it today just because they have earnings. Contracts won't move very well. IB is 115%. Not super interested. So, we'll watch it. We'll see what happens. If there's some crazy strength today, maybe that could be a precursor. I don't know. But like I said, this has been taking a beating forever. So other than Tesla, there's really nothing that close that I'm loving. So pretty much we're going to just keep the same idea as yesterday. I'm going to wait for Netflix to get under 540 here. The gap starts at 537, and that gap is huge. So if the market's weak, I'll be there for that. But we're at 555, so we do have a $15 move to come into 540. So is that very, very possible? I don't know. But we'll be here if it happens. Next, Apple, just same trade idea there, just waiting. Once again, we're just kind of stalking this, waiting for it to happen. Once we get back under 165, that's kind of where I would hope that momentum would kick in here, and then we could trade this 164 level. And I think over a day or two, we could easily see 160. Does that mean I'm going to swing it? No. If there's some bad news on Netflix, or maybe Tesla drags the market down, after hours today, that could help the market get weak. Maybe we can get a nice $2-3 move out of Apple. I don't want to just make any sort of perfect price predictions here, but I would just love to see this get weak under 165, trade the 164 break, and then just kind of gauge it from there. Guys, there's really nothing else that I like. Other things to watch on the side is like oil. Obviously, what's going on overseas. We did have a short-term pullback for a couple days. We're starting to bounce. This could start going back for highs. This is ExxonMobil and Chevron, so XOM and CVX. This will load here. However, so Chevron to me looks a little bit stronger, but we do have Exxon and Chevron earnings at the end of the week on Friday. So, who knows what's going to happen? This is all this stuff is kind of hard to gauge. There's a lot of earnings this week. So, on a lot of big names, Meta, Microsoft, Google. Zuma, thanks again for sending this in. So, we have Boeing tomorrow morning. So Meta, Microsoft, Google, Snapchat, Intel. So we don't have any chip stocks. We did have Spotify this morning, which I'll go look at, but that also means I kind of want to stay away from some of those names that have earnings later on in the week. Once these earnings can get past us so we can get some clear moves and kind of see where big tech is going, that's going to give us a lot clearer direction for us. Bitcoin finally bouncing back up here again. We came in and touched 60,000 again. Maybe this is something we can keep our eyes on. Nothing really to trade, but maybe we can look at the miners and all of that. Let me look at Spotify real quick. UPS didn't do a whole lot. Spotify up at 300, so this ended up bouncing a little bit. Is this all-time high here on Spot? It might be. Maybe this is something we can look at just to no, it's not all-time high. But pretty solid resistance here around 300, so why not? Maybe we can give this a try. Tesla earnings are today, Duco. So come on. So the high here is 313.16. I'm not going to be interested in anything until around that level. Obviously I'm not going to wait for that on the dot, but if we can get kind of a push up in here in some sort of momentum chart pattern up into this high, I would trade that probably through 315. Just kind of brainstorming here, maybe a trade that we could catch. So if it doesn't set up perfectly and we don't want to take it, we don't have to. But if market gets weak, great. I'll be watching Netflix and Apple. If the market stays really strong, then probably going to just watch Spotify here. NVIDIA was pretty strong yesterday, so I'll keep an eye on that. Just going to have to gauge stuff to the upside. We had such a big sell-off last week. We're kind of retracing into prices that we already fell through just a couple days ago. So let me take it. Well, Google has earnings this week, so I really don't want to trade it, but we are creeping back up to this high here. It's been one of the strongest names. I have some alerts up here, so I might maybe consider 160 if we have some sort of crazy run, just because we still have another day or two until earnings, but we'll see. Do you guys have any questions you want me to go over? Any tickers or anything? I don't think anything's going to happen right off the open, but we'll see. I have alerts in all the right places, so I won't miss anything. Netflix is pushing here. It's not necessarily what I want to see. YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, you guys can ask questions as well, and I can't see them. It's gonna be interesting. We got to see what Tesla's doing today. Yesterday was just kind of a good example of we can be there for 30 minutes, see that price action isn't really going to do a whole lot, and we can move on. Spotify here. Okay, I didn't realize how much this is going to move. So let's just go ahead. Just in case I want to take this, I'm going to get the 315 calls loaded up. No volume on these guys. 10 volume. Look at the spread. It's crazy. That's great. This is untradeable. Option-wise, this is untradeable. 29 volume on these. Wow. This would have been a really great trade. The spread is, over $100, $200 spread. That's unreal. 67 volume on these. I'm going to take a screenshot so you guys can see it. Come on. There we go. You guys on Discord, here you go. If you're not looking at it. The bid is in that picture. The bid is 560, and the ask is 695. Well, so that kind of trashed that play. To be honest with you, there's just no reason to even try to trade that. Right now, the spread is $300. They're starting to get a little bit more volume here, 147, but that's just nothing. It really is just nothing. I mean, we should see over 1,000, especially day after earnings. So I don't know if volume can really come into this. Maybe there's a chance for it, but I mean, even now, it's still $150 spread here. 298 puts, maybe. Well, I'm not looking at puts here. I'd be looking at calls. They don't even have 298 puts, so unless you're talking about a different stock. Yeah, volume's just not there, guys. I mean, it's just done. All good, Mr. Happy. Volume 198, 194. I mean, it's trying to come into it, but that's way too risky. So let's just make ourselves move on from this. I mean, we can watch the chart here, but I'm not even going to consider getting in. Netflix 561, so that's kind of going the opposite way here. Tesla is slipping. That's good. Apple came into 165. That's good as well. Lulu options look good. Okay, well, what about the options look good? Lulu's super weak here into the middle of a range. I can already tell you I'm probably not that interested until we Well, that looks good now. Yeah. Now that it went from 3 to 60. Tesla 142 here. Seeing some more chop today, guys. It's not ideal. I mean, look, Microsoft just kind of straight up and down. Tesla's one of the cleanest ones here, but we have earnings today. Meta, look how choppy that is. It's like it looks like a zebra. Green, red, green, red. Nvidia, not much of a movie. We're only 5 minutes in, so I mean, I'm not gonna just call it a day or anything, but typically this is what a choppy day looks like. This is the only problem with earnings, when earnings come around, usually tech is within the same week. And you kind of have to just let them go. You have to let them get all the way through that week to get some clean action. However, you can, once more the names start coming out, you can I look for those day two trades. So earnings comes out, look to trade it the next day and then the next day. So you typically get 2 good days out of it. But we haven't really had any big ones. Netflix was the only one last week. Today we got our Tesla, and then we just kind of start hitting all the other names later on. Last earnings cycle, we didn't get much from morning trades either to chop it. Yeah, 100%. So, that's just the way it goes. I'm glad you noticed that, Duco. I hope you other guys are noticing that as well. Just know that, yeah, there is going to be some crazy action, but trading wise, it's not ideal. Yeah, tomorrow should be better. Well, you guys see anything else that I'm missing? Tesla's still just kind of slowly falling off here. I do like that. Spotify contracts have gotten a little bit better, but still got, 360 volume on the 315s is just awful. Any sort of pullback, the bid is going to fall off a cliff. You're going to be down 20, 30% with just a small little pullback. What was I going to look at here? Well, to kind of kill some time, why don't we look at some calls for longer term here on Tesla? Not going to be, probably going to wait for after earnings. The June 200s don't look bad, but that's not long enough term to like really catch a crazy move on it. Open interest 27,000. Oh, Pan W, nice. Okay, is that moving again? A bit. It doesn't look bad. I might be interested up here around 290. So when I'm looking for some sort of a swing or some sort of longer term buy, oh, I misread you later. What I'm looking for mainly is heavy open interest. So here I'm like, okay, I haven't seen any over 10,000 on the call side for this specific expiration. Over here on the put side, look at this 13,000, 15,000, 14. Um, so, a lot more contracts are being held on the put side. Let's look at like December. 7,000 here is kind of the highest on the call side. On the put side, we have 20,000 open interest here on the 150s. January, let's see, 28,000, 35,000, 27. Okay, here we go. So the calls, excuse me, the calls are going to be on the January ones, 170, 175, and 250 calls. What strike, RB? Whoops. 300s. I need a little bit, a couple more strikes here. That's 255. 300, yeah, 43,000 open interest. Beautiful. Worth 200 bucks. That's not bad, man. That's really not. I kind of like that. 200 bucks gives you what? About 7 months? 7-ish months. It's not bad. I don't know. We'll see. I kind of, honestly, if we get a drop, like, on earnings down in here, that's gonna be where I would look to maybe buy something like that. Even though I'm gonna be mad if this ends up bouncing pretty hard today. Um, we don't know if the market will trickle back down. I mean, does anyone have any sort of predictions on Tesla? Have they done any research? Do they have any sort of idea what these earnings could look like? I haven't done much, but that's just not really what I do. I could look up some stuff now. There's just nothing I like. And I didn't send it into the chat, but there were two or three guys that I follow on Instagram and Twitter and stuff that I followed for years. They didn't take a single trade yesterday either, so that made me feel a little bit better that I didn't do much. So I wonder if they do today. Nothing to me looks great. Netflix just completely went the opposite way here. 565. Amazon 176. Tesla still just hanging out by low a day. Microsoft chop central. Meta top chop central. Google moved okay, but not. We're almost to 158. Nvidia choppy. Apple pretty choppy. So just really not clean price action here. Market's starting to rip though out of nowhere. It's making Google go on a run, making Tesla bounce. Lavi, what were some of their notes on that? Analysts expect Tesla to report revenues of 22.3 billion in Q1, which would mark a year-over-year fall of 4.4%. So that's not good. The only thing is, Pan W alert just went off. I'm gonna go look at that. The only thing is, when you have negative expectations, it gives more of an opportunity to surprise and to beat. So if this is, even if it is a little bit negative, but not nearly as bad, considering where Tesla is right now, I think that could still give it a buy spot. So I don't know. We'll see. Market just ripped. Maynor, good job on calling out that news. Go look at Pan W real quick. Google's starting to creep. It's around $2 away from where I'd consider it. Upside to Tesla being the AI FSD in the car sales. Yeah. I just, I'm surprised Elon's let this kind of go on for so long. He's kind of really hurt the stock, but I mean, not him personally, obviously. I know that overseas deliveries and sales haven't been good. I haven't seen a whole lot. Let me go on Twitter and see. Let's see. Tesla earnings. Yeah, I mean, if you're okay risking $89, I mean, I'm not mad at that, honestly. I know that that that's not a real trade. It's just kind of a gamble. See if you can pick up some money. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Check this out, guys. Watch that video. YouTube guys, sorry, I can't really show it. That can't be right. Q1 EPS estimates 0.50, which is a 40% year-over-year drop. That's crazy. Tesla's currently down 43% in 2024 and having its worst start to the year on record. Most recently, Tesla reported delivery numbers that were down 20% in Q1 2024 compared to Q4 2023. From what I'm really seeing, I mean, um, I don't know, guys. Like I said, with negative sentiment like that, it gives this a chance to actually get, a bounce. It gives a chance for a squeeze. Yeah, the news could be bad, but if it's not nearly as bad as what they were expecting, that's considered good. And that means that this is probably a little too far oversold, which will bring that buying volume, which would kind of give you a crazy little pop. So, I mean, this could easily hit like 170 after hours. I don't think you're going to see something crazy to like 200. Um, but this could also go hit 100, like if it's really bad, it's really bad. So, yeah, exactly, Duco, exactly. Whenever this actually gets some momentum under its belt and starts ripping, it won't stop. So, I mean, I'm really surprised at what we've seen the last 6 months, but Tesla's been dropping a lot of speculation earnings, but now that the curtain's pulled back, a lot of those unknown peers are now known. Right, exactly. Exactly, Kenny. That's kind of my whole thesis on this is, I mean, we even dropped from 175 to 140 in like 4 or 5 days. So to me, it's just chart wise, even a little too overextended. Um, so I really don't know. I told you guys that story on Amazon, and I'll go back and look to see what I can find on it. Market's ripping. But yeah, let's go back and look at Amazon. I remember that it was an earnings beat. I think it was this one right here. Let's do daily chart because we'll see the gap. I think I was right on that. Maybe this was it. It's hard for me to tell now because I think it was before the stock split, which we can see here. No way, it was more than 3 years ago. It was something like maybe it was this one. Maybe it was right after it split. I don't know. But obviously stock had been down. It kind of went sideways, then popped. I don't know that that one's the right one. I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to get. Maybe it's this one here. No, there's no way. This was recent. Maybe it was this one. I don't know. I think you get the picture though. It was just kind of when Amazon was down on obviously the stock got crushed, and when it was a $3,000 stock, I mean it was moving like 500 points on these earnings moves. Um, and I just remember seeing someone buy calls on a big dip, and then earnings came out and made a ton. Tesla back up though. Look at this. What else you guys got for me? Debit spread. Okay, Duke. I'm not mad at that. Long term lotto. Yep. Well, guys, another boring day. I don't really know what else to do. I mean, look at this. Look at this. What do you do with that? There's nothing there for us. Look at this one. Look at Meta. What do you do with that? This is where you get killed on your premiums. Yeah, yeah, throw it away. Apple just won't give me one of those really solid days yet. Well, guys, and I could stay for another 10, 15 minutes and answer questions, but I can just tell that it's just not going to be one of those days. It's just awful, awful, awful price action, but as expected, you know? Well, what other earnings do we have today? I guess we could talk about. And I hate how boring this is, but there's just nothing to do. There's just no trades. These are days where you just don't have to be at the desk. Um, yeah, I actually saw um, a trader talk about trading kind of like surfing. You know, when you start surfing, you obviously don't know how to surf. You have to get out in the waves. You have to sit there when there's no waves, when there's big waves, when there's, little waves, stuff like that. Once you're a good surfer and you've done it for a long time, you just kind of look out on your balcony and you can see a wave 3 mile out, and you take your time, go out there, get set up, and you catch the big waves because the big waves are more fun and better to surf, right? So, but you have to put in the time sitting out there to the point where you can understand when the big waves are coming, when the good waves are coming, and surf the bad waves, the small waves, the medium waves, no waves, waste your time, fall, get up, all that stuff. So I thought that was a pretty good analogy, but I don't know why you can't send gifs in here or gifs, whatever they're called. But yeah, I thought that made pretty good sense, and I like that. That's not even water though. That's crazy. But oh wow, Tesla just kept going. Yeah, you meant the short term dip. Yeah, it's like buyers are coming in. Duco's got privileges the most. Well, Netflix came back over. Um, well, any questions or anything, guys? I do have a free lesson tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, as usual, that I will be, you know, going over the day later. Zuma. I'm sure you guys could probably find some better things to do with your day than sit here. I'm probably gonna head out here pretty soon. This isn't trading a good trading environment, so there's really nothing else to say. I want to train you guys to notice this stuff, so you don't have to sit through it and try to get chopped up and lose money. So as boring as it is, this trading style is fast, but so much of your time is waiting, like I said, for that big wave to come in and catch, and then it's all there. Good, mate, nor good. I love it, guys. It'll make everything so much easier for you. I promise you, you're going to miss out on a lot of red days that you would have taken trying to force a trade. So have a good rest of the day. I think we should just call it here. I will be at my desk, so if something does happen, I can hop back on mic. If you have questions, always you can just text me on here. But I'd rather get us away from this environment so we don't lose any money than to try to force anything just to get a trade out there. So, like I said, you guys have a good rest of the day. I will be around. So, if you need me, just holler at me. But if not, have a good day, and I will see you tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time.